What's the vibe for the intro?
It's whatever you want it to
And
be.
we're back with another episode of the Pals Podcast. I'm your co-host, Danielle Galarno.
And I'm Ricky Liordi, and
My name is Matt Edwards.
this week we obviously had Matt Edwards on the podcast. Matt, give us a rundown of who you are in 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, so my name is Matt Edwards. I am 30 years old. I live here in Toronto, Canada, and I'm a men's fashion and lifestyle blogger.
Love that. That was nice and concise too.
And I'm a Cancer, so we'll have some of that.
we talk about that.
We'll
in
have
the
some
pod.
of that in the pod as well.
And this is nice. We actually never have the guest on the intro too. We always do this like separately.
You know,
I kind of like.
I kind of miss it.
I
We
kinda
used to
like
do
it.
this back in the day, and I feel like you and George did this more, and we just kind of like do a little. But it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I really think we should have the guest on the intros again.
I think it really depends too when we're releasing. So this is going up next week.
Yeah.
So on
Well,
Tuesday, this
technically
is today. This is going up. But sometimes we do like we'll do the intro on like the Monday, and like me and Ricky will do a little recap, whether of like our week or like what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But I think this is really fun, and like I'm kind of liking this.
Nice.
The vibes were vibing today.
Good.
They were.
Good. I'm glad I came for fun. You know.
Man, this was a high energy day.
High energy day. I was actually having such a weird day at work, and then I had so much energy.
Do you ever notice? Sorry, this is a little rant, but do you ever notice some days when the energy is low, you have the best podcast? Do you ever notice that sometimes?
Yeah, so it wasn't that like I wasn't, because I came here in a good mood. Like
Yeah.
regardless of how weird my day was and how annoyed I was in a good mood. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good thing. Last week was shit. The week before that was shit. I'm in a good mood. But I got really tired. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it through the episode. Like, I'm just going to be mute the whole time. And you know what? Good energy, good vibes.
Yeah, you made it.
And I made it through.
We had one episode, and I remember it was maybe about 2 months ago, and I was miserable. And we didn't know the guy coming on. A PR agency pitched him. And we said yes. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so
We
annoyed.
were about to cancel.
We almost canceled. We never canceled Dave ever.
Damn.
And at 3 o'clock, I'm like, Danny, I'm miserable. I can't do this today. Like, you have to carry this podcast. And that was one of the most fun podcasts we had that time.
It was.
And like the vibes were just vibing that day. And the vibes today are vibing.
Good. I'm glad I brought the vibes, but you guys also provided the vibes as well.
Well, I think
So,
Ricky
thank
provided
you.
the energy, because Ricky came in hot today. Like,
Yeah.
could even like you were standing there when Matt came in. Me and Matt are sitting on the couch, and you're standing behind the camera, speaking but yelling.
Because the vibes are vibing today. I'm going to Whistler this weekend. I had a good workout day today. I worked out today, and I did berries. So I worked out twice. The energy levels are high. I'm going to Whistler this weekend. I went to the Bills game yesterday, and they won. The vibes are just vibing right now.
He's high
The
off life
vibes.
right now.
That's good, and it was a really great episode. So I hope everyone enjoys it. But before we get into it, we already talked about it on the episode. We're going to talk about it again. Our favorite chips, Hardbite Chips. We actually taste tested them in the middle of the episode. No artificial anything. No trans fat. No cholesterol. GMO free.
Non-GMO.
Right? Non-GMO.
Made
And
in
they're
Canada.
all potato, no coach. So you can find them in your local grocery store, in the health food section, any healthy kind of grocery store, kind of things like that. We love them.
Oh, solid. We tried the sweet onion and yogurt. The onion and yogurt?
Onion and yogurt
We
type
finished
thing.
the bag.
They're like
gone.
a purple bag,
Had a little bit of yogurt in it.
a little bit of yogurt taste, but they kind of taste like sour cream and onion
Yeah.
with a yogurt flavor, which sounds really weird for chips, but they kind of slapped.
Vibes were vibing.
Yeah.
The vibes were vibing, the chips were vibing, everything was vibing. So what do we say, Ricky?
LFG.
Let's fucking go.
You're not alright. I'm not alright. I like to drink and smoke, take away the pain, and you don't remember.
That is something we would have done today.
Do you know, so one episode we only have 4 mics, because anytime you have more than 4 people on the pod, it gets hectic. Obviously, you can imagine.
Yeah.
So we had this band called New Hope Club on, and there's 3 of them, and it was me and George at the time. And we're like, okay, me and George will share a mic or something. One of the kids ended up like drinking pretty hard.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, Ricky, you take a mic, we'll share, because they were sitting on the couch together. And basically, I think anytime he wasn't holding the mic, he was holding his drink and he was just polishing it back. Like that still to this day is like one of the most fun episodes we had, because we ended up just like getting crazy. Like we had a time. But yeah, Matt, welcome to the Pals
good.
podcast officially.
Thanks, pal. Thanks for
I feel
having
like
me.
it's been a while that we were
Appreciate
thinking about
it.
doing this, right? Like
Yeah.
now that we finally get you on, and it'll be good just to like chat, because I do kind of what you do on the side, but you do it full time, and you're in it.
I appreciate that.
How long
Thank
have you been doing content for?
I've been doing it for like 7 years now.
Holy
I've been
shit.
doing it like full time for about like 3 years. But yeah, I've been doing it like about 7 years ago is when I took it kind of like seriously.
When did you?
What platform did you start on?
So I started on, initially 7 years ago, I started a blog. So that's kind of how I like launched. And then I did it on Instagram, and I was mainly using that. I was using YouTube like a little bit, but then yeah, just predominantly like Instagram and YouTube. And then TikTok like after the pandemic and all that.
What was your day job before?
So right before I like quit and did full time, I was actually working at Apple part time. So I was working there, and then before that, I was working at Urban Outfitters part time.
Did you work at the Genius Bar?
No, I was like just selling you an iPhone or whatever. I was like not equipped for Genius Bar.
No,
I
I
was
just like I had to go to Apple last week. I cracked my phone, so like.
Oh yeah, no Apple Care.
Okay, so
Long story.
I'm gonna say this because this is a lesson learned for everyone. Got my phone. I got like the iPhone 15 like October.
Yeah.
End of October. Kept forgetting to get the Apple Care, and I was like, oh, like should I get it? Should I not? Whatever. Had it on my last phone. Never used it once. I'm notoriously bad with my phone, so I probably should have. Anyways, and the holidays came around, and then I
Wait,
forgot
when you were
about
on your trip?
it was around then, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like just before Christmas, I was like Christmas party, then
Yeah.
like Christmas, and it just was nonstop. Then I went away, came back, recorded a podcast. Ricky's like, you got to take this box with you. It's yours. It was like a promo box. I'm like, no, can I leave it here? No, can I leave it here? He's like, no, I'll take it with you. So I brought it downstairs, put it into my car. Not your fault. Don't worry. Slipped out of my pocket. Cracked. I'm like, and it just hit a rock right at the top, hit a rock,
course.
cracked. I'm like, fuck,
Damn,
like,
yeah.
what do I do? I call him. I'm like, yep, phone's cracked. And it went like all green. So I'm like, I knew this was like bad. I had to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Checked online. My Apple Care expired 7 days before.
Damn. Did you call them?
So I went in, I booked an appointment right away. Well, I called a bunch of like fake places, like, hey, can you fix my phone? They're like, no, Apple made it hard enough for us to fix the phone.
Yeah.
So then it was going to charge me like $1,000 just to fix the screen from like an unofficial place.
Yeah.
Apple was like $469 plus tax. So I made an appointment at Yorkdale, go in, talk to the guy. I'm like this. I was like, my Apple Care, like my whatever, it expired 7 days ago. Can you do something? I'll pay for it right now. He goes, unofficially, go call Apple, see what they can do.
Yeah.
Called. These two women on the phone, didn't even know what day it was. I'm like, hey, this is not going to go well. They're like, try to like finesse the system, say like, oh, can I get it now preventatively, blah, blah, blah. Didn't happen, went back into Apple. Then I give him my phone. They're like, can you come, we can't fix it tonight. Can you bring it in tomorrow morning? And then we'll fix it on the spot, walk around the mall for an hour. I said, I'm not walking around the mall again for another hour tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep my phone overnight, fix it in the morning, and I'll come when it's ready. So anyways, I had to do that and have to pay. And I was really upset. But lesson learned, get Apple
Danny
Care.
said I was fired up before. Hey, holy shit.
Yeah.
Getting out of breath there too. Anyways,
No, fair. But yeah, I used to
So-
work there for a little bit, and then worked part time at like Urban Outfitters at Square One because I'm from Saga. So
You're a Saga guy?
yeah, I'm a Saga kid.
didn't know
Yeah. So I worked there for a little bit, and then I've been doing this full time kind of ever since I quit Apple.
It's so, I didn't know like how big this whole content like industry is until I started doing it. And then I was just like, yeah, now I know how people do this full time.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but like, how are you finding it now? Because especially, I feel like now you have your like way. You know? What I mean?
Yeah, I got lucky. I tell you, I have no talent. Like you do fashion. Like this is what you do. You're good at what you do. Your content's great.
You have talent in making content.
I don't. I really don't. Like if I like, I hate saying this. If I didn't have a cute smile, like I would have 0 followers.
Fair.
It's like it sounds so like bad to say, but that's my only like I don't even you can't call it a talent. But
you have a bit of Riz too. Like you have charisma, you know?
Yeah, first off, I just knew Riz meant charisma.
I just learned what that meant last week.
Yeah, because someone's like, "Oh, like you got Riz," and I'm like, "What's Riz?" I had to Google it. I'm like, "That's how you know you're getting old," and you have to Google like.
No, I feel like I knew what Riz was, like in the text of like using it, but I had no idea it came from charisma.
Oh, I had no
idea.
I had no idea about that. Riz was like
Yeah.
game or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I had no idea. But for me now, like I love the job because for the amount of work you do, it's in my opinion one of like the best paying jobs. Like once you like establish yourself.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
You obviously do this a lot more and better than I do. Like I feel like you do a brand deal a week or something. Like you
Appreciate that. It definitely like depends on the season, but
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But I feel like you've done some really good. Like you did the was it White Claw last year? Like where they took it on a helicopter.
Oh yeah,
trip? Like,
I did that.
That was sick.
Yeah, that
To like
was pretty
Niagara
cool.
Falls or something.
Yeah, it was just like above the falls or whatever, and I got to just have a helicopter ride, and I've never done a heli ride before, so that was pretty sick.
And then
But-
wait,
Nice.
sorry,
Yeah,
you did NFL
way.
London.
yeah.
Sorry, we'll continue
Yeah.
this before we get back into NFL London. Anything else on that?
No, I was gonna say I think your experiences that you do too are
Oh, for
really
sure,
cool.
yeah.
And I think
Thank you,
that's
yeah,
what's
yeah.
probably like I don't know if to you, but that would be the most like rewarding to me because like I like experiences, I like travel, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's like yeah, it's fun getting money from these brands,
Yeah.
but like actually being able to do something that you probably wouldn't normally do.
I would also piggyback off that, and I feel like you maybe share the same sentiment, but like I like that, but with friends. Like
Yeah.
no matter what experience I get, if I get to like share it with like just a friend or something, like even with White Claw, not last year, but I guess the year before because it's a new year, I got to go on White Claw sent me to Victoria, BC, and I'd never been to kind of like the West Coast before, but I got to bring one of my best friends, and we like love music. Like we go to concerts together, so it was a music festival they brought us to.
did
So it was
Oceaga
like
too.
sick that and then the Oceaga thing as well. I got to do that last year with a buddy of mine, but the first kind of brand deal that I kind of got like myself, I reached out to H&M and they sent me to Oceaga in 2018 for like that music festival. So I brought him with me. And then this year I went with American Express and I brought him with me again. And it was kind of like sick that we got to go like to Oceaga again. For him, it's sick because like the 2 times he's been to Osh, he went for free.
Yeah.
But like it's cool that like I get to bring him and share that experience with him as well. So I feel like anything I get, like even there's opportunities that I'm like, okay, cool, like yeah, that's cool, but like I know a friend that would love this even more than me, so like I'll bring them.
I'm the same way as you, and it sounds so bad. If I'm not allowed to bring a +1 to these events, I don't go.
Fair. It depends. Like if the event is like more business for me, I'll be like, okay, like I get it. Sometimes these events are like pretty exclusive, so I'm like, okay, I kind of like understand that. Like I feel like even
Well, there's somewhere it's
Did you
like
go
you're
on
at a
You went to
dinner.
the Buffalo one by
Yeah,
yourself.
you're at a dinner one. You only got like
Buffalo
one spot.
jeans, right?
Yeah, Buffalo jeans. But
Yeah.
I knew
But you didn't know
Ramsey
that initially-
going.
you didn't know
Yeah.
no, I
initially.
did. I asked.
okay,
So my
yeah.
thing is now, I don't do this as a full-time job, right? Like to me, I have my day job. That's my bread and butter. That pays my bills. It pays my real life.
Yeah.
For me, content is, it's, hey, are we going to get a studio for the podcast next month? Yes or no? Okay, well, it depends on how many brand deals I do. Are we going to, am I going to go on the 4th vacation in the last 6 weeks? It depends if I get paid from a brand deal this week.
Yeah.
Literally, it just pays for my like luxurious lifestyle, right? Or it pays for the extra nonsense that I do. So I started asking because fun, and I don't want to say the brand because I don't want to put them. Me and Danny went to an event. I don't think you were there at this one. Or no, you were actually, but this is when before we really knew each other.
Okay.
It was an alcohol party, and I asked the marketing agency because it was a Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
And-
this is the one that I was at.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And I even asked,
Once
I'm
you
like,
hear more, you probably know exactly what we're talking about.
and I
Okay.
asked, I'm like, is the party going to be fun? Because it's a Sunday afternoon. I was going out drinking. I was going out partying. If the party's not going to be fun, I don't need the free booze.
Yeah.
I can go pre-drink. I can go to a bar. It's going to cost me $100. I'd rather pay my $100, my $200 to go somewhere with a good vibe, good energy, especially on a day I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going for work and it's just I'm going to shake hands, trying to get a brand deal, different story. But I don't do that. I got very limited free time. I want to have fun. So I emailed back. I'm like, hey, I'd love to come. Like, is it going to be fun? And they're like, yeah, all the girls from the restaurant are taking it off because they want to attend it. It's going to be big, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Blah. Sure, I'm sold. I called Danny.
That's all they had to say.
I'm like, Danny, yeah. Fuck. I called Danny. I'm like, Danny, do you want to go? Like, I know this. You've heard of this brand. Like, it's a cool one, right? She's like, yeah, it's gonna be so sick. Everyone's talking about it. Blah blah. There's all this hype behind this alcohol. We get there, and I remember I got to the bar. I was like, hey, can I get a shot?
First,
Sorry.
I said yes.
No, he said no. We're not allowed to. I was like, what do you mean you're not allowed to? This is an alcohol tasting party. I want a shot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm like, give it to me on the rocks.
Didn't we have to finesse a shot
Wait,
or
so, like,
something?
like,
Yeah,
we
we
won't.
did
And then I was
afterwards.
just like, look, man, I want to try the alcohol that we're here to try. Can I please have a shot? Like, what are we doing here? Long story short, they ended up giving us shots. But then after we went back, like, oh no, we can't do it anymore. And they got all weird. And then there was like the video promo that was all glitchy. And I was like, this is the worst. I was annoyed being there.
Damn.
I was upset being there.
We ended up having a great day. But
We had a great day.
Yeah.
Afterwards, because we went to our spots. I'm
You
like,
went out afterwards, because
Yeah,
I feel
of
like
course, yeah.
that's when I met you, and like you were saying that you were going to
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But I do remember that event. I would say it wasn't fun, but only because it was supposed to be a brunch, and they marketed it off as a brunch, and I was I came hungry.
And so some people ate, some people didn't. 'Cause
Yeah.
we ended up meeting some friends that you knew.
Yeah.
And we met some people. And then so we just sat there and chat. They're like, oh, we ate a bit here and there. And then she was starving. So one guy kept bringing her food.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't as brunch as it should have been if it's
was
marketed.
not brunch.
If it
No,
was
it's like-
marketed that way. It was more
Bring-
like it's
bring the
past hors d'oeuvres
Yeah.
with brunch style food.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like maybe it just was the space. I don't know if it's just because they've done it. Like the photo op, you're there with a bunch of influencers. It wasn't the right space for it.
Yeah.
And then
even-
it just did a bottleneck, and then people were just like, I felt like on top of each other. I don't know.
Yeah, and then even in
It was
general,
just missing
like,
something.
Yeah.
when you have a bunch of creators and influencers and all this, like, you want to make it a vibe. Like, for me, I'm the type of person, if you're inviting me to an event, if I have a good time, and I genuinely, like, when I went to the Buffalo event, I genuinely had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I have I'll post everything because I genuinely had fun. When I go to some of these events, I'm just like, I feel bad not posting because I know it costs money and I know that, like, it's a give and take a lot of times. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to post. I didn't have fun. I didn't enjoy this.
So another thing is too, it's like I feel like that party didn't have to be people getting drunk and that type of vibe, even though it was alcohol based, but it was the vibe that they didn't make. They didn't make it
wasn't
good enough for
fun.
people to enjoy, like, have fun.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't about I don't think it was about like the people not taking shots and whatever, because people didn't have to take shots to
No,
have
you don't-
fun.
yeah.
It was just about the actual vibe itself. I just feel like people were just staring. Like,
People were
staring at
just
each
there.
other.
Everyone was
Yeah.
just there.
The vibe wasn't it that
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
I want to
get
ask,
it.
what's the without saying the brand, what's the worst event you've ever been to?
the worst event that I've ever been
That was
to?
mine. So we just said I've only been to maybe 20 creator events, 25 maybe max, 25.
Well, I can confidently say no sports related ones.
Yeah, no, first of all, the best. You
Yeah.
bring me to a game and I'm just like, I've had the best time ever. Like,
Yeah,
even if you do nothing for me, I'm having fun.
Yeah,
I got to go to a game for free.
No, I would say honestly, I feel like I haven't been to a terrible one. I would say maybe one disappointing one that I went to was it was a fashion related one, and it was a big kind of, without saying too much, it was a big kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but like fashion brand collab. So like a popular fast fashion brand and then another high fashion brand, they were collabing. So it was a collab that was coming out, and the event was to introduce that collab. But I think what was disappointing about that one is that unfortunately it wasn't their fault, because I think in marketing terms, like, Canada gets the like shittier end of the stick sometimes.
Yeah.
So like me seeing other influencer friends that I have like in the States or even like other parts of Europe, like I saw that this event was going on, because again, like, it's a big kind of like collab that's going on. But when it came to Toronto, it was just like not that, and not any of what I had like seen online either. Like I was seeing like big events like in New York and London and stuff like that.
Well, so
But
like anything
Toronto,
in like New York, LA, any of those events, like when they bring them to Toronto, it's not even comparable. Like,
yeah,
they're
but
gonna
this one
be-
was like very non-comparable. Like it was very much like, oh, I didn't. And what even sucked too is like I'm a men's fashion.
Oh, it didn't suck.
Like-
It was disappointing.
Yeah.
It didn't suck.
Yeah,
what was disappointing?
But like I predominantly do like men's fashion as well, and like they didn't even have like the men's fashion collab that like pieces there. So like again, what can I do here if you don't even
am I
have
here for?
like
What am I here
the
for?
men's pants or like the men's stuff for me to check out? So
Yeah.
that would probably be the most recent one that I can remember. But yeah, honestly, all of them are like pretty cool. Like I feel like I even get invited to a lot of like music ones that are really cool.
Yeah.
And I really like working with brands that I generally like use all the time, and then I get to do like really cool stuff with. So even I think it was last year, maybe the year before, I got invited to like a Lumineers concert, and I probably know one Lumineers song, but one of my, again, best friends, like she's a big Lumineers fan, so I was like, okay, like let's go. And she was like having a good time. I posted like what I could or whatever, but like just to see that she was super excited about it, I was like, okay, like this is worth it for me, you know?
Sometimes going to events with somebody that loves it, like we get a lot of free tickets to concerts because of the podcast.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll take people that like love. I use Dominic Fike. Like we had no idea who Dominic.
Yeah,
I had no idea
yeah.
who Dominic Fike was. We
Okay.
ended up taking her sister and her cousin, who are like massive Dominic Fike fans, and
She
they had the
watches
best
Euphoria?
time ever.
My sister, no.
Oh,
Is
no?
that why he's
She-
big?
Oh, yeah. I think he's on Euphoria, or he was on
My
Euphoria.
cousin does.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
that's
yeah,
how.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
Sophia just, I don't know how she likes him.
Oh, fair.
But then there was also like I took Sammy to Sam Fender, And she's
Okay.
like a massive fan, and she was having the best. I'm like, I know 2 songs.
Or it's like even to his point, like not knowing, like you knew one song, but like we went to Laney last year or 2 years ago now, and they were supposed to come on the podcast. Went to the show. We knew one song.
we had the best time.
I think that was one of my favorite concerts.
Oh, I feel like I remember you saying something about that.
Maybe
Yeah.
we had an amazing night
like,
that time.
That was actually probably one of my favorite concerts, other than
Yeah.
like the artist I was actually planning to go see that year.
Oh, that's dope. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Rufus to Soul in Red Rocks.
Oh, okay.
And
wait, where?
Red Rocks.
Oh, okay. Jeez,
Have you
that's
been?
sick. I haven't been, but I like
Go.
know what you're talking about.
you
Yeah.
gotta
So
go.
we
I
were-
feel like that'd be cool at the Vegas Sphere.
I
like,
went- I
that
went
would
to-
be
so
sick.
that's my, I've been to both.
This isn't the
No,
topic.
I've said this too, but the Sphere is the coolest venue in the world.
Yeah.
It is so mind.
I almost thought when I saw the marketing come out for the Sphere, I almost thought that was Red Rock. I was like, oh, they just put like a
dome
thing
on?
on
No.
top of it, but then like
No,
I
it's-
realized that it was something completely different.
it's wild.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the Sphere is my new favorite like venue. Second, like a very close second is Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Both of them are just remarkable. You have to go.
Yeah, I feel like that would be both would be unreal. But yeah, what was the favorite?
Your Rufus.
Your
What's your
I
favorite
went to
concert?
Rufus, yeah.
The best concert that I've probably ever been to. I recently went to Burna Boy in June, like this past June, but I saw him in London, and it was like the first stadium tour that I've ever been to. So I feel like that was sick. Like, I don't feel like I'm a huge Burna Boy fan, but just like that atmosphere and everything, like it was sick. And then other than that, I'd probably say like maybe Kanye. I saw The Life of Pablo, so like
Unreal.
that was
I
an
went with
unreal
Vicky.
one.
I went with Vicky, yeah.
I feel like I need to say that one because that one was unreal, and it was like very like by chance that I got tickets. Like it was sold out, and I just got
best.
tickets. And like
She invited
everything.
me last minute,
So,
and we like
yeah.
we sat in like the nosebleeds, and we had the best time.
But also, like the nosebleeds were such a great view too, because
Yeah,
it
'cause
was
you
like
got
the
to see
floating.
everything.
Yeah. So I
Well,
feel
that's
like
what, like I used to always say, Astro World, Travis Scott.
that
That was one of my favorite concerts, but I also had like great seats that I knew people there, and they got me.
Did you see that in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I had like it was one of the best concerts.
So the first time I went to Osh, it was like when Astroworld dropped and he was playing at Oshiega. So that's like such a memory for me that like literally seeing him headline that Friday that he dropped Astroworld and then performed. But he was also late, so he didn't really play
Yeah,
that
he played
long.
really late, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
I
so
remember that.
rappers always do. Like Future, I love Future's music. I've seen him like 4 times now. I don't think he's ever once showed up on time, and I feel like Future is his own hype man. Like, I
Oh,
feel like
for
he
real?
doesn't rap half the time. Like I love Future's like songs,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm gonna.
You're the
I'm
also
gonna.
biggest Ja Rule fan, and he's never come to a
For
con-
real?
like,
You're a
he's-
big Ja Rule fan?
huge
Yeah, but
Ja
he's
Rule
canceled
fan.
like how many of his shows
2.
in Toronto? Okay, it feels like a lot. Maybe it was just during like a 1 year span.
Yeah, no. I've seen Ja Rule perform in Toronto like 4 times.
Oh, wow.
I've never missed a Ja Rule show in Toronto, like a real show, not like a club performance. I don't care
Yeah.
about that. But he played Beer Fest about 4 or 5 years ago. I went to that. He played Rebel maybe 2 years ago. And I go alone to some of these. I don't care. Like I'll just buy my own
Oh,
tickets
wow.
and I go and like I'll pre-drink by myself.
That's the next thing I want to do. I've never been to a concert alone, but like
Oh.
I'm like working my way up to it.
Bro, I go to 1 in every 5 concerts I go alone.
Wow.
Do you remember like sometimes like Danny's unavailable and like my friends don't care for music sometimes and like I'm not gonna be sit around on my couch like, oh, does anybody want to go to this concert? I'm like, fuck, I'll just go alone. I went to Sam Smith alone. I've done a bunch of podcast artists alone.
Almost went to Noah Khan alone.
I almost went to Noah Khan alone. Yeah, I've gone to so many alone. Sam Smith was a little much for me.
Morgan
Alone?
Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, I went alone.
Yeah. Okay.
I was supposed to go with a friend and she bailed.
I would
last
do
time.
it. I just like haven't.
See, I
We're
don't think
doing
I
it,
could.
guys. I don't know.
I do not think I could.
Yeah?
I am way too awkward. Maybe at like a bud stage, because somehow you will run into someone you maybe like
Yeah.
kind of know that you'll feel
I feel like it
comfortable
has to be an
standing.
artist that like I absolutely
yeah.
love, or if it's like I would maybe do it if I was by chance on vacation like in another city and I happened to go to this concert and like nobody
You have
knew
to
it,
do
then
that.
I'd be like, okay, like I would go.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah.
you end up watching so much more. 'Cause when you're with someone, it's like, okay, they go to the bathroom. Okay, let's go to the bathroom. No, let's go get drinks. It's like when you're by yourself, you're just there. You're just like, okay, I got no one to talk to. I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah.
And you watch
No,
everything.
fair.
I know you have. Have you have you ever gone out to a restaurant eaten by yourself?
Oh yeah. I do it like I wouldn't say I do it often, but like
Have you done it in Toronto?
I feel like I do it a lot.
I don't know. I've never been
couldn't-
out at a restaurant in Toronto eating by myself, but I have done it somewhere else.
Okay, I couldn't.
Where I've, like,
I don't have a
traveled for work
memory
and
of
I've gone by
doing it
myself.
in Toronto, but I feel like maybe. But I also feel like if I didn't do it in Toronto, I probably did like takeout and then just like ate it back at my place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you'll
Yeah.
eat it back at your place.
No,
You know.
never. I
Like,
hate takeout.
Would you go, like, you would though, but like, I don't think I would ever.
I almost went to Dasha alone on Sunday because they have all you can eat on Sunday. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Dash Up, this is a big shout out. $45 all you can eat at Dasha on Sundays between 5 and 9.
Wow.
So I really wanted to go because I haven't been, and I was looking for someone to go with. I had no one to go with. I was going to go, and then I got invited to a different dinner. So unfortunately, I didn't make it to Dasha. But I'm going one of these Sundays. I'm dying to go.
I just feel like you people learn a lot about themselves doing that, but I am way too awkward.
I've definitely
think-
done it like in another city, like on a trip or something.
Yeah.
I've definitely done it, but yeah,
It's
haven't
the
done
best.
it.
Oh, it's the best.
I
So
don't
I just
think
feel
I've
like
done
that's
it here.
step one.
But I've probably done it. I feel like I've done it if I was visiting my parents or like when I used to live in Mississauga or whatever. Like if I really, there's been times like I love pho. So I'd be like, oh, I really want pho right now, but like no one wants to come. So like I would go there by myself. But that's
Never-
like my local pho spot. So I don't
Yeah.
really, I feel like that doesn't count, you know? Like,
No, I've
No, that definitely counts.
That
Because
counts.
that's a sit down. It's not fast food.
okay, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done Mandarin alone. That's depressing. Mandarin alone. Oh my god.
How do you do that alone?
Some days I'm hungry and I'm driving by Mandarin. I'm like, ooh, lunch special today. That's not a bad deal. $22.
That's also wild being hungry and saying, okay, let's go to Mandarin.
like you're driving by it, right? Like I feel like there's a Mandarin in every major city and they got great
Okay,
locations.
but would you ever go to like a nice like where you get dressed up and go to a nice restaurant alone
in the city, yeah, I've done
in
it.
the city in Toronto?
Yeah, sometimes I'm just dying to try a restaurant. Like, what am I gonna take a girl and then I'm out the extra $150? A lot of my friends don't want to do restaurants
don't
and stuff.
know.
Like, someone's being healthy this time, someone doesn't like this. People are on budgets and shit. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Is that a serious question? I'm like the extrovert of extroverts.
I feel like you're an extrovert, but
Like,
then
big time.
No,
Like,
but
you could
those
do
like eating dinners
a
alone
lot
and
of
going to
things
concerts
alone as well.
That's very.
Yeah.
So my thing is I spend most of my days alone. So I wake up alone. I live alone. I drive to work alone. I work out alone. When I'm at work, there's a lot of people around me, but a lot of my work is just me. Like I just do my own thing. Like
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people during work, but then after work, I drive back home alone. I'm in traffic alone. I usually work out or I go play a sport, but again, sometimes I'm alone. So I'm like, I like doing things with other people when I can.
yeah.
But if I can't, I get annoyed by like if I ask two people to do something and they both say no, I'm not asking a third. Somebody's like, it's bad juju. I don't need 3 no's in a day. Like it's
Fair.
just like even there's concerts. So many concerts I'm either gonna go to and I invite first person. First person says no, I'll either sell the tickets or go alone.
Fair.
So I'm just like
probably
I
am-
can't have too much negativity in my life.
I'm the worst at that. I will ask 5 people, and the first person to say yes is coming. But then 2 people could have said yes at the same time. I'm like,
Awkward. Too bad. Tickets are gone.
yeah.
I don't
I've
want to
gotten
put
in
myself
trouble.
in that situation.
I've gotten in trouble for that. But yeah, I'd say I used to be mad extroverted. Like as a kid, I was like very, very extroverted, and I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm more in the middle.
Me
Really?
too.
Yeah, and I feel like I didn't notice until COVID actually, because I was very much like an extroverted person, especially like before COVID. Anytime it was Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday, like I needed to be outside. Like I needed to be out. But then after or during COVID, like obviously being forced to be inside, I was like, this is the longest I've been home like my entire life. Like I
Yeah.
don't know this. But then afterwards I got very comfortable. So even now, like being in the city and like living on my own, like I love being on my own because I have hardly ever have that alone time. So that helps me kind of like recharge, which is what I like learned a lot about myself.
I don't know if it's because like I used to work for companies, like I worked in events, so I'd be working all day, then I'd be working at night too a lot of the time. So I was constantly around people, and I missed that alone time. So I think during COVID too, I realized I need to kind of slow down for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
And like if I don't have my nights by myself, my whole week is ruined, and it's like I have to like do a whole recharge. But it's just more of like just time for me that I need to just like kind of like reset.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I don't have that time, it like really throws me off.
Yeah, but that it's like you almost need like that day to do it because I feel like
Yeah.
that time used to be like time that I would just take for myself anyways. Like if I was like showering or if I was sleeping or something like that, like I used to think that that was my time alone, but it's like no, your time alone could be just like binging a show by yourself or just like doing something else or like even just like a Sunday reset, like getting everything done. But yeah, I used to never
See,
do that.
I'm the complete opposite of both you guys. I fill my battery and I charge up and I regain with other
like
people.
from other people. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I do that
Like, when
with other
when I'm
people too.
by
That's why I'm
myself-
like such like a mix.
When I'm by myself, I'm the worst version of myself. Like I just think about all the time I'm alone. I do nothing. I scroll TikTok and Instagram. That's it. I don't read. I don't do any work. I just like well, during work hours is different. Obviously during work hours you work and I'm productive and I'm like very goal driven. I get all my shit done and I crush. if I have a Tuesday night that's open on my calendar and I have no plans, I'm upset with myself. So I'm just like, okay, what am I gonna do? It's 5 o'clock. Let's say I already went to the gym. I'll go back to the gym just because I want to do something. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'm like, what do I do with the rest of the evening? Like if I go home, I'll just go on my. So I'll go to my parents' house if they're home, or we'll do podcasts, or I'll go to my other gym and go for a swim, or just because if I'm at home, I waste time, and I just feel like I don't like being at home alone because I just feel like I get nothing done. Unless the plan is, hey, I need 4 hours because I got to do work. You know, hey, like I've got 4 different things I work on a daily basis. Okay, I got to do content today. I need the 4 hours. I'll block that window off in my calendar where it's like, I've got that.
Yeah.
Because when I'm home alone with nothing to do, unless I'm hungover. If I'm hungover, then yeah, cool, great. I need to be alone because I'm dead to the world anyways. But if I'm not hungover, if I don't go to the gym, I mean, if I don't go out the night before on a Sunday morning, I wake up at 8, 9 a.m. like I normally would. I'm just like, what do I do now? I'm like, okay, I went to the gym. I went for a 10K run. Now what's next? Like, do I go eat? I don't like cooking, so I got to go out to go eat somewhere, like, or I got to call someone over so we can cook together to have an activity.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm wasting away when I'm alone.
Fair. Were you an antsy kid?
Not antsy, but I was always doing things. Like I don't talk about things. I just go and do them. Like I literally made a post with close friends about this today or yesterday. I'm the type of person that I go and I do. I don't ask questions. I don't think. I just do. You know, like, hey, you want to go to New York next weekend? Sure, cool. When are we booking now? Cool,
Yeah.
no problem. I got 100,000 Aeroplan points. Let's do it. Boom, and I'll be on a plane. So the thing is, like, if I have free weekends, my calendar is like my life. If it's open, I'm looking for something to put in that spot because that's what I love. And like maybe one day a month, I have a day where it catches up and I shut off. I literally don't respond to any text or nothing for 5 hours, and then other than that, I'm good.
Is your birthday in September?
Yeah.
Don't give me this shit, man.
Yeah.
Don't give me. You must have.
Are
You
you the
subtly
beginning
knew
of
that.
September?
You subtly knew that anyways. Or you're like, you must have like low key
No.
subconsciously remembered that or something.
No, it's literally everything you just described is
Virgo.
like reeking of Virgo.
I don't know enough about astrology.
No, man. I know people who are the complete opposite of me who have birthdays like 3 days later, 2 days
No,
later.
it's fair. But you just sound very like meticulous or just almost like, I don't want to say Beyonce energy because I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, but just somebody that like has the itinerary, knows what they're doing, and like is a go-getter essentially, which is
Yeah, I've
literally
been told I
everything
have
you just
golden
described.
retriever energy though, which I'm okay with because I kind of like golden retrievers.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I have I'm very much a Cancer. Are you a Cancer as well?
No, I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Okay. I'm very much a Cancer. I'm like Cancer sun, moon, but a Virgo rising. So I relate to that a little bit because like in my work or like my work ethic, like I'm very meticulous and like I have like a certain way that I kind of like do certain things. Or even if somebody else may have an easier way, I'm like, okay, I've literally always done it like this, so I'm going to continue to do it like this.
way.
Yeah.
That's fair. Do you
Yeah.
believe in that stuff like big time?
I want to say no, but I think the answer is clearly yes.
I feel like,
Yeah. I don't know like all of them, but I feel like when somebody is describing themselves, like I can try to figure it out and guess. So
See, the reason why I'm not saying it's fugazi, but I believe that if you believe in it, you can find any way to find similarities to your sign. Because I've been out before, and I actually said this on the podcast like 2 years ago. I was at a bar once, and some girl, like, we're chatting, whatever. She's like, "What's your sign?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually an Aquarius." She goes, "You know what? I knew you were an Aquarius." And I was like, "Well, funny you say that. I'm actually a Scorpio." She goes, "Oh my God, that's such a Scorpio thing to do." And I'm like, "Well, actually, I'm really a Virgo for real." She goes, oh. I'm like, "See, it's a bunch of bullshit anyways." But
this is your Riz you were talking about earlier.
well, it only works on girls I don't like. No. What's the best party you've ever been to, or the best like collab event you've been like invited to? Because you've been to some good ones, like London NFL.
Yeah.
Like that's sick.
I feel like that definitely is one of the
That's got to be up there.
best ones recently that I've been to, just because I always love going like back to London and stuff. I have family there. So that one was very like I had no idea I was going, but I also like knew and planned
You
that I was going.
manifested.
Like I was delusional to like go, but like yeah, I didn't know until maybe like 5 days that I was going, and then like yeah, but that was an insane trip. But I also like allotted the time. Like I have like family there, and like even a week before I was like, hey, like I'll
might be
probably
coming.
see you guys next weekend, and they're like, do you have a flight? I was like, no, we're working on it. But then like literally 4 days before, I like texted my cousin. I was like, hey, like, so I'll see you at the game. He's like, no way, you're actually coming. I was like, yeah, like things are in motion right now. So I feel like that one was definitely the sickest because I had never been to an NFL game. So to go to my first
That was
in
your
London,
first
that was my
NFL game?
first NFL game.
When I saw that, I
So-
literally texted down. I'm like, did you see Matt's post? I'm like,
No.
he's at the game in London.
If
I had
You-
never
I'm
been
just
to
like-
one before, and
I'm
that
just
was my
telling you
first.
right now, if you go to a Super Bowl and Ricky
I'm
doesn't,
so jealous.
let's just say there might be some sabotage to this episode online.
No.
because it's
Hey,
gonna
no,
be
no, no.
pissed.
Hey,
No, it's
we're
all
putting
over.
it out there. So hopefully,
because you
hopefully
know
I'll
what?
see you there that
Hopefully-
weekend too.
Hopefully you guys both get to go.
No.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I can come too.
The thing
course.
is, anytime there's like male creators in Toronto that are doing something, I'm just like, cool, they did it, pave the way for the next guy.
Yeah, of course.
Or
of
like for the
course,
next
yeah,
year,
yeah.
like again, especially when the guys who take it seriously and like, do really good jobs, like you do a really good job. Ramsey, I love his shit too.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a handful of guys in the city that like, again, talk to the camera. Like we're not like the cool fashion people that don't like, I've got friends who do it. They walk across the street like looking all real cool slow motions.
Nah.
Like it's different. You
Yeah,
talk to the camera. You're a
yeah.
personable guy. Like I do the same thing. So the more that you do that kind of stuff, the more it opens the door for people like me who don't do it full time but still kind of do it.
Of course,
Because if
yeah.
you do it, then I can be like, oh look what like he did. We could do something similar like this.
Exactly,
Like I
yeah.
feel like I've sent like when I not pitch myself, but when I get brand deals that come in, I'll be like, oh like here's some content deals. I can do something like this. Like I've sent like your stuff or Ramsey's or
Oh, no way.
whoever, right? Because again, we do kind of similar stuff. Right?
Yeah,
Obviously
yeah.
yours is a step up from mine, but it's all like in the same realm.
Yeah, yeah.
Like anytime I see a guy doing something cool on social media, I'm just like, I want to do that too.
Of
Like,
course.
How do I
yeah.
do that? Okay, like let's figure this out. Like, hey, brand, I want to do this. I want to go on a helicopter.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's one brand each of you would want to work with in 2024?
That's realistic or unrealistic?
Both.
Like unrealistic,
No.
Rolex. I want to work with Rolex.
Okay. Yes.
So okay, realistic, Crocs or Colonels. Those are on my top of my my top list.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Any explanation?
So
I can think he loves
Colonels,
popcorn so
I'm like
much.
a massive popcorn guy. Like I love popcorn.
Interesting.
And they've commented on my TikTok.
You've always liked popcorn?
Yeah, like since I was like a kid. It's like my go-to snack.
How do you take your popcorn?
It's kind of a lot. I'll tell you this.
I was gonna say Cheetos comment on your post.
Yeah, I know Cheetos.
I
did,
saw
yeah.
that. I laughed.
Yeah. So if I'm actually making like my good pop, like not just like
Yeah.
for like a snack for everyone to share. If I'm making it for me to eat, it's a combination of 4 things.
4. Okay.
4 different popcorns, and I make it in a massive blockbuster bowl. Like it's enough to feed like 3 normal people or me. So you start with the base layer of cheesy pop, Chester's preferably, if not white cheddar Smart Food.
Okay.
Those are the 2 options on your base layer. Then you
You
got
guys are writing this down, right? This is the formula.
I've made TikToks about this. So the second thing, and this is important, you got to do the light buttery first because the
Okay.
microwave is cold to start. And you do it first because when the microwave is cold, the light buttery doesn't burn. Because if you do it when the buttery's after the buttery, the microwave is hot. And then the light butter will burn. So you do the light butter first, and you've got your base layer of your cheesy popcorn. Then you put your light buttery on. You spray a little bit of olive oil or olive oil spray on it,
Okay.
so that your seasoning sticks. And I use jalapeno jack seasoning from Colonel's. The second thing you do is you do your buttery. The microwave's already warm, so you can just press the popcorn button. It makes it perfectly. You don't even have to watch the microwave. Once that's done, you put that on top. You put your seasoning. You don't have to put any spray because the buttery makes it wet. But you have to make sure you do it right away. Because if you let it sit for a minute or two, the butter dries up and the seasoning doesn't stick as well. You mix those 3 up. Then to top it off, you want to be a little bit healthy. You make your air pop. And the reason why you do this is because that has a different texture than the microwave popcorn. So it's a little bit different. You get your olive oil spray. So you could put a little bit of salt on that or sea salt because it gives you a little bit of like salty taste.
Okay.
But then you put your jalapeno jack. If you really want to change it up to, you can put some like white cheddar seasoning or like light buttery seasoning. You mix it all together and it's literally top notch. I've never had someone I made that popcorn for that didn't love it.
Of course, that's a very meticulous list.
Very meticulous.
Yeah. And it's like top notch. So Colonel's is my number one. Crocs is my actual number one. Colonel's is like a close second. And I'm doing a
Yeah.
lot of food brands lately. I've
I
got
think
like
you
3.
could Crocs.
Croc commented on my thing once and I DM'd them instantly right away within like 10 seconds of seeing the comment.
Crocs. Does Crocs have a Canada handle or is it just like Crocs?
I think they have a Canada, either TikTok or Instagram. I can't remember. But you know Brendan Carpenter?
Yeah.
So he's another guy that like, again, similar to us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's great too. Love him.
Yeah. He's on the West Coast, right?
No, he's Hamilton or Peterborough. He's like an hour away from
Oh,
here.
yeah? Okay.
Bradford, Hamilton, Peterborough, something like that. But he does a lot of like content that's similar to we do.
Yeah.
And he got the McDonald's Crocs collab sent to, and I'm like, man, like I'm so jealous.
Oh, geez.
And I very rarely get jealous. I'm just like, yo, you're killing it. Good for you. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm so jealous that you have that. I want those so bad. So I'm manifesting Crocs is my number 1. Kernels is my number 2. My realistic answers.
Okay, nice. I feel like mine, brand wise, it'd be really cool just to do like another car collab, like just a really sick, luxurious car.
Wait, what car collab have you done already?
I've worked with Mazda before and one other one that I kind of forget, but Mazda I've worked with twice. That's why I remember that one. But it would be really dope to work with another car one. So that
Car's
would be
cool.
sick.
Would you want like event based, like kind of like an F1 type thing? Like a luxury car space, or like no?
No,
I got a good
think
question after.
the F1 would be sick. But no, just like a car
Just
collab
car
or whatever. And then another one that would maybe be not outlandish, but just like shooting for the stars would just be like a fashion collab, like a high brand like fashion collab, or even like going to fashion week with like a fashion brand.
Like who?
Give
me a brand.
Like who?
Give me like 2-3 brands.
I would say maybe Louis Vuitton, or even just like something like Love J.W. Anderson right now, and even Todd Snyder. I feel like I just saw their collab come out because like it's
I had no
Milan
idea who
Fashion
those
Week
are.
right now.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of stuff like coming out and happening that I'm kind of viewing. So just to be invited to like a brand, to work for a brand for Fashion Week and like kind of like show the collection before it's on the runway or even after it's on the runway, that would be like a dream, and that's definitely like a goal of mine. So it's not like shooting for the stars because I'm gonna make it happen and it will happen eventually. It's just like time frame, like when it will.
Yeah, I follow a lot of like influencers and like reality TV stars in New York.
Okay, yeah.
Of course you do.
Obviously.
Where's your Stanley? I was actually joking. I was gonna be like this most like basic like white blonde girl thing to say.
I got it for Christmas. No, but anyways, no, just hearing about other people's like experience when they live in New York, living there and then you're in Fashion Week.
Yeah.
They get invited to events like it's not even a question.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely easier because they like are there, you know what I mean? So it's like
but
more
it's, like,
local
getting-
for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, to even just be in New York for Fashion Week, it's insane. I've been fortunate to go twice, but every year it's like a different experience, you know?
There's a dating app in LA called Poppy, I think, and they
Okay.
do the sickest pop-up events.
Sorry to cut you off. Have you ever been on Raya?
Yeah, I got kicked off though.
Oh, you got kicked off. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I made a TikTok about it, so like fair enough, I got kicked off. And they asked me to delete it, and I was like, how'd they see that? Or
Raya asked you
they
to
gave me
delete
a
it?
warning. They gave me a warning, so like I got a notification on the app saying, oh, like blah blah blah. Make sure, like a reminder saying, hey, make sure you don't screenshot or do anything. I was like, cool.
I
Like,
think I'm on my last one.
whatever. I'm like, how'd they even see that?
You have
you get 2 strikes.
Oh, no way.
And
I'm
then-
on
no.
like 3 now.
Really? So maybe I got it earlier. So I made a TikTok.
Oh, wow.
So I saw Madison Beer on Raya, right?
Yeah.
Which is funny because I
Oh,
actually
you
met
just saw her
Madison-
in real
Yeah,
life a couple weeks ago.
So I saw Madison Beer on Raya. So I screen recorded the video, and I'm like, every guy on Raya, oh, I almost matched with Madison Beer on Raya. It's like, no, you just saw Madison Beer. You aren't almost. What's almost matching with someone mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no almost. It's either you did or you did. So I made a TikTok.
But you matched with her while you were in Toronto, right?
No, I didn't match her. I ran into her when I was in Miami.
Okay, yeah.
But like I didn't like actually like talk. Like we had a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah.
I wish I met her. She's stunning, like absolutely most beautiful person I've ever seen in real life. But yeah, so I saw her on Raya and I made a TikTok about it. Anyways, I got banned, and still to this day, I got banned like 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago. I'm still
no
banned.
way.
Like if I open up Raya on my phone right now,
That's actually crazy.
look, if I'm gonna do this, and they've updated the app a million times. So here's the message I get. It's been like this for 2 years. Raya's community managers conduct periodic reviews regarding membership renewal. Based upon our current community engagement guidelines, Raya has decided to not renew your membership. Thank you for your support and involvement.
Damn. Well,
Yeah. And you know what the worst part was about it? It was like maybe like a couple months before the world started to open up again. Because I got it like during COVID. And I had so many good matches for the podcast. Like I had like sick female soccer players. I had a couple female tennis players. I had a couple like good country singers. And I'm like, I'm not talking about like shit ones either. I'm talking about like good athletes, like women who are at the top of their sport, and like country singers. Now I see, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I matched with you on Raya like 2 years ago when you didn't have 1 million followers. Now like I can't DM you because you have 1 million followers. So you're gonna be like, I have no idea who the hell you are, you loser or something.
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I got kicked off Raya. Fun fact. So what were we talking about before this?
Poppy, sorry.
Poppy.
I cut you off. Sorry.
So Poppy, it's a dating app in LA, and they do the sickest pop-up events. And I literally DM'd them. I was like, guys, like I'm in LA once or twice a year. Like, can I come to your events? Like, yeah, DM us when you're in town. Like,
Of course,
we'd
yeah.
love to invite you. I was like, do you guys have the app in Canada? Like, even though I'm in
They did
Canada,
a pickleball event
that was the one. I was just like, I was at David Dobrik's house too.
with Celsius.
Yeah, and I'm like, Celsius pop up pickleball. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's like my like perfect.
Calm down for a second.
I'm just like, that would be perfect. I would have so much fun at that.
You're salivating a little bit.
Yeah, I get to play pickleball, beautiful single women. Like,
Yeah.
that's literally my dream come true. You know what I mean? I'm not terrible at pickleball either, so I'm like, it'd be kind of cool. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, that's it. Okay? So we talked about dream collabs on your 2024 vision board, whatever. What would be like a dream experience?
A dream experience would
Aside
probably
from a
be
Super Bowl.
like,
Can't say Super Bowl.
right. I can't say that because that will happen.
We are gonna do
Right. Probably like a week trip somewhere to like somewhere hot that I haven't been. Like I haven't really been
Mayan
to
Riviera or
the
something.
South Hemisphere. So if it was like South
But I
America,
feel like you can do that,
or-
like Sunwing or something. Can't you just hit up like Sunwing?
yeah, like it'd be sick to do like a collab like that. Like,
Yeah.
a
Would you ever do
trip.
a cruise?
I'm not a cruise guy.
See, I know, but they do a lot of like influencer
Really?
stuff.
They really do, but I don't think I could
Because like
do a cruise.
also like celebrity cruises right now to like tons of people.
Yeah,
but
one
also
of my
like Virgin.
One of my boys did that. I want to say like last winter, or maybe it was this winter, and I was like, "That's sick," because he got to do like kind of a week of that,
Yeah.
and like his content looked amazing too. But I was like, I don't think I've never been on a cruise, but I'm not a cruise person.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my clients, she goes on like I think she's been on twice now with Disney.
Oh, that's sick. Oh, I saw another content creator that went recently. It wasn't a Disney cruise, but she went to Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that goes on any content creators on cruises.
Like a ton of influencers.
Really?
and
Yeah, I
stuff.
had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
and
I've
like
seen a
especially
couple
like Virgin
friends.
Hotels actually is a big hotel
It
chain.
was the Virgin
that-
cruise he went on.
So probably the Virgin cruise.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do a bunch, but they're also been promoting a lot of their hotels across the state. So if you see like any influencers that are like even like staying in Vegas,
Yeah.
Nashville, any of that, they're most likely staying at the Virgin hotels there.
Oh, there's a
they're all
Virgin
getting paid.
hotel in Vegas.
Yeah,
The W in Nashville followed me on Instagram.
that's cool. But that's
DM them
W's
instantly.
Marriott, isn't it?
Doesn't matter. It's the W. It's a great hotel, and they followed me, so I DM them instantly. Hey,
Right.
coming next year for the football season. Would love to do something with you. They gave me the
Go
thumbs
He's
up.
on it. He's on it.
Go Titans.
As I'm drinking out of your Titans glass.
I know. I love that.
What would be your kind of like dream collab?
I've basically already got mine. Like anything with the Titans.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's to me, I'm like an actual like big football fan.
Yeah.
The Titans are my team, even though I was at the Bills game yesterday. And the Titans followed me on Instagram.
Oh, that's sick.
That's out of all the social media things I've done to date,
Yeah.
out of all the events, out of all the money I've made on it, the Titans following me on Instagram and like having direct connection to my favorite football team
Yeah.
is no questions asked the coolest thing that's happened to me.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as they followed me, I didn't believe it. I thought it was like a burner account. I had to like click
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
click it, get out, click it again just to make sure. And then I DM them and I'm like, hey guys, like actually, and the best part is when I open the chat to DM them, you just see me tagging them a million times because like I've been to so many games and every time you like tag,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's how they know you're a true fan.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's like not only did they follow you, so you had like direct communication, but when you went to the game, having the field access,
hooked it up.
then going to a suite, and you had sick people in your suite.
Yeah.
Like it was the coolest experience ever, and I got to experience it with my mom, which was cool. She's not a big football fan. Like two of my one of my best friends and like another really good friend are both Titans fans too. So like it would have been really cool to do that with them. But yeah, they hooked it up, and like I'm ready to go for next year. They basically said next year like we'll do the same thing again. I'm like
good.
sick.
Are the Titans making it to the Super Bowl next year?
No shit.
Well, they even
losing
get to the
We're
playoffs.
losing our best player next year. We lose Derrick Henry, which is going to make me cry. So I'm
Oh,
hoping he
shit.
goes to the Bills. So
Yeah.
it's like I can still be a Derrick
okay,
Henry
yeah,
fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool. But no, I want to this year. One of my goals actually on social media was to do bigger like brand deals. So instead of just doing like a one-off where it's like just a TikTok or just an Instagram reel, I want to do bigger things where it's like, hey, we're gonna do 3 pieces of content spread out through the year. We're gonna do one event, and
Yeah.
the kind of not inspo behind it, but you know Madeline White, Andrew Fedek's wife or fiance.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So I saw her a couple months ago, and she does this partnership with Grey. She's massive. Like she's
Yeah.
millions of followers.
Yeah.
But she does a partnership with Grey Goose, and it's like ongoing. They sent her to, I think it was like the U.S. Open for tennis. They like send her like crazy PR packages, and it's like an ongoing collab. And I think that's like the coolest thing where you've got this partner that's has a vested interest in you, and like
Yeah.
you want to work this long-term deal, right? So that's one of my things this year that I'm trying to do, like along with the event. So going to Osh would be sick. Going to like Lala's tough because it's in the States, but maybe there's, you know, Escapade Fest or whatever the EDM festival in Ottawa is. Boots and Hearts, you know, getting invited to Boots and Hearts and doing a collab with like a beer company, would be, or a whiskey or a rye.
You got to do F1 this year as well, right?
So
or was that
F1,
not with the collab?
we went on our own, but Peroni like invited us to an event there, which was kind of cool. Like they didn't like hook it up, but that event was really nice. Like really good restaurant, food was good, open bar. And I feel like it has to be open bar too, or else it's just ridiculous now. But and Peroni's good. They send me stuff all the time. Like I like them.
Yeah,
it's great. DoorDash I've worked with numerous times.
Yeah,
DoorDash is a national brand too. So like, hoping they sponsor some sick event, and they're like, "Oh, Ricky, like, hey, by the way, you want to come to this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So
I feel like long-term partnerships are definitely like the goal, and I think there's more of a pattern of them happening more recently. So I think that's definitely like probable. Yeah, for sure.
I find that a lot of brands are looking for more long-term deals now because one, like, you can save on price. Like I have DoorDash and Leo Vegas, a gambling site I work with, looking at like longer-term packages, which are kind of cool. Yeah. Because then again, like I'm having insane growth right now on socials, which is like absurd. It's not going to last forever. But again, who knows? What if I doubled my following in the next 6 months? My rates are going to double too.
Of course, yeah.
If you work with me now, you lock it in for the year. Like even if I do double, you've locked in your rates. So it's interesting. Like we even just partnered with Hardbite for the podcast, and like this was a good 3-month partnership, which for us is really cool too, because it's the same brand day in day out, and it's funny we only have 2 bags left. I'd give you a bag.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, are we? Because
I'd give you a bag to take home, but
do we try any on the podcast? I feel like
you can try some.
Should we want to try the sweet onion one?
Let's open up the sweet onion one all the time.
Yeah,
I've maybe had like, let's say in total.
No, this is it's like electrolytes, like healthy, just like hydration stuff. I don't even know what brand this is, to be honest. I can't even give a shout out, but I just found it in on my counter today, so I put it in here. That's how you don't get sick, though. That's like the key to not getting sick, is like these little stupid hydration things, like
the vitamin C, like
so emergency.
Yeah, emergency.
But I found that I like because that's all your vitamins.
The Hydrolite one.
Yeah, it's called the new one I've been taking a lot. It's really big in the States.
Liquid IV.
That's it. How'd you know that?
Because you gave me one literally last week when I was feeling sick. I got sick that next day.
Oh, Liquid IV is great.
Yeah.
Liquid IV is really good. I honestly like would take it sometimes before being hungover, but it's great.
So I heard. So I went to a Bills game in November with my cousins. We bought a massive pack, and we're like all in the car. We're like, hey, did we take it before, after, like go to bed, after drinking, before drinking? Anyways, we did both. Definitely helps.
So what I do is like on nights where I know I'm going to drink, so basically any Friday or Saturday, I make sure I take one in the morning. And like, again, it's not going to help you from being hungover, but maybe it's just me, but I don't get hungover like a lot of other people my age do. Like a lot of my friends, when they're hungover, they're like dead to the world the next day, and I'm up and at it.
For 2 days.
Like I'm up and at it the next day at the gym.
It's hell out there. Like it's not a fun time.
So these are the wild onion and yogurt. See, he's good because he gets it. He's like, yeah, we got to give the brand the shout out. Do we try? Like, he knows what he's doing here.
Interesting. No, I have no idea what I'm doing.
So these chips are actually, we'll give the spiel. Non-GMO, no artificial flavors, vegan, no trans fat, no cholesterol.
Made in Canada.
Yeah, so they're like actual real chips.
All right.
A little bit of a healthier alternative to your like classic potato chips, which is nice. This picture is actually from Whistler, BC, where I'm going this weekend.
So it smells really great for the audio listeners.
This is like
ASMR.
No, mukbang.
Like
mukbang.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of like a dill pickle.
No, tastes like sour cream and onion.
Oh, that's it. That's what I was thinking about. Sour cream and onion.
That tastes exactly like sour cream and onion.
Yeah, it is really good though. Wild onion and yogurt. Such an interesting combo.
No,
I don't know.
I'm tweaking because I don't know if it's because it says yogurt. I taste yogurt. Like I have to. That can't be real. Like it actually tastes a little bit of dairy. I'm like, where's that going from?
Give Vicky some too.
I will. I'm just gonna read the ingredients for a second because I saw them the other day.
It's not bad, honestly. I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
So the spicy ketchup don't last past the day that it arrives because spicy ketchup is bomb.
Okay, there is natural yogurt flavor.
I taste the yogurt.
Yeah, it's sea salt, onion powder, parsley, spinach, garlic powder, citric acid, spice, and natural yogurt flavor.
That's actually crazy. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been good. Again, anytime you work with like a cool like local brand, it's always nicer.
Of course, yeah.
I'm gonna go completely switch the topic for a second.
Yeah. Switch it up.
But just back to you and like your content creating. Do you work all by yourself, or are you working with a company like a management company?
No, I definitely don't work by myself. I'd say I predominantly work alone in my day, but like I'm thankful that I have a team of people that I work with now. So like to get brand deals and stuff, I have a manager. I'm with like an agency. So my manager helps me a lot to get either brand deals or kind of like just like work on the contracts and stuff.
Who you signed with?
Platform agency.
When did you like decide to like make that
Platform,
switch?
When did I, what, sorry?
To like make the switch and go with an agency?
So I would say it probably was one of the good and bad things of like COVID. It definitely happened during kind of like the middle of 2020. You know, it was kind of like in the middle of the George Floyd movement and like Black Lives Matter. And I think at that time, everybody was kind of like really mixing diversity and stuff. So it was during that time, because I don't believe there was, I think it was like the first Black men's creator that they signed. But that did obviously like help me as well to have kind of that representation, because I feel like I was doing a good job kind of making a name for myself like in the city. Again, like there wasn't a lot of like male creators, but definitely like not a lot of male like straight Black men's creators like doing like fashion with what I'm doing. So yeah, I feel like I definitely did a good job at making a name for myself in that instance. And yeah, then I got signed with them, and then a year later I was just like doing really good with like just brand deals and stuff and money. And at that time, like 2021, I just had no time to like do more that I wanted to do, because obviously like I loved what I was doing. I loved doing the content. So I kind of made the executive decision to kind of like quit at Apple. And also Apple was like mad like supportive of it as well, because I really just like was not working. Like I was at the point where I was like giving away all my shifts. Like I couldn't work because I wanted to go to this brand event, and like obviously living in Sauga, it's like the commute to the city and stuff like that. Like
It's a day.
Yeah, it was kind of like a day thing.
Your event's at 7. You're leaving at Saga 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
then you have to come home, edit, and make your content. Like,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
Do you know
there.
what, Matt? Shout out to you, because I remember we went to an event once. I think it was the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, NFL kickoff party last year. You had the content you had the video up before I got home, and I was just like, bro, what? Like,
Oh yeah.
how the fuck? I'm still there. I'm still there. How'd you do? And
Like,
it
he's
was
still out at his second bar
I'm
after
like,
the event.
I'm like, how? No, I was still
Yeah.
at the event too. I was like, still drinking. I'm like, yo, the open bar doesn't end yet.
Yeah.
And he's already got this video up. I was like, damn, man, can you just tag me, please, so I can share something? I remember I DM'd you. I was like, yo, can you send me some B-roll or something? He's like, bro, it's gone
screaming,
already.
yeah.
Delete everything. I'm like, fuck, you're
Oh
so
yeah,
fast.
I just like sometimes I do that. That's because like now I'm in the rhythm, because I do like vlogs and stuff like that. So I'm in the rhythm of doing that, and I feel like obviously like very happy when I get that recognition, or like everybody like loves that stuff. But yeah, I'm just like in the rhythm of that now. So I think when I like finally, I was really battling with the decision to like quit at Apple as well, because I remember I was in like the middle of therapy, and I remember kind of like tweedling the idea of like quitting, and like I remember my therapist at the time was like well, like, yeah, why don't you quit? And I was like, I can't, for some reason the way I used to think was like, oh, I can't quit because like this is my job, and like this is what I've committed to. And she's like, okay, but you can also quit, like you have another job that's also doing really well. So yeah, I had to like really kind of like have more faith in myself. And I think from those years, especially like to see my growth from then to now, like I'm definitely more confident in like myself and like my career. And it's nice to like have that like as a career for myself. And it's done really well for me. Like now I live down here, like I'm able to afford cool things and stuff like that. And
You get a lot of like extra perks and benefits for doing this as well, right? Like,
yeah,
we were actually talking off air before you arrived. Like in Toronto, there's a bunch of creators, and like everyone's got their niche and their specialty. But then when you get to the men, there's only maybe like, out of all like the real creators, with a good amount of followers, there's only like maybe 20% are male. Okay, then when you take that 20%, maybe 10 of them actually like talk to the camera, and they don't do like, cooler stuff, or they're like, sports or editors or whatever. They like talk to the camera. Then even go to that, like so that's where I end off. Then yours, like, there's that 3% that are part of a minority group, which you check off. That then you get into the next where it's like you check off that next box, whatever it is, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to say the more specific and the less part of that percentage you are, almost the more you can charge, or the more opportunities you get
more
now, because
beneficial it is
a
for
lot
you,
of the
really.
brands are trying to like diversify. They're not just looking for, okay, we're just looking for a person with 100,000 followers. No, we're not looking for that anymore. We're looking for someone from Toronto who talks to the camera, who's got an interest in X, Y, and Z that falls into this category, right?
Yeah.
They're getting really specific, and you see it. Like,
And especially if you're marketable, you know what I mean? Like that's obviously what they need and they look for.
What do you think your biggest advantage is?
What do I think my biggest advantage is? Probably maybe my energy, or that, like, again, like I speak to the camera, and probably like I have the eye for it. Like, it could be any event, and like you said, like I'll probably
You
have
can
a
make it look
quick
cool,
turnaround for like the video, because I know kind of like what the key message of the night needs to be, essentially. You know what I mean?
I think
I'd
your
say-
voiceovers are really, really good.
Yeah.
I
Thank
used to. I've been Ricky started doing his voiceovers. Like even now, still sometimes they're painful, but they're getting better. Your last one was good.
My last ad was great.
Your last ad was actually like
Vicky,
one of
Danny,
like,
thank
really,
you,
really
girls.
good.
You're
But
gonna
your
see it comes out
voiceover
tomorrow.
was good, because that's
Okay.
usually not the best.
My voiceovers are
And I
terrible.
used to always send him your voiceovers. I mean, like, come on, Rick,
geez.
like more natural, more natural, more natural. Like,
Yeah.
he just was missing that like
For
part.
someone who's done like 250 something
Well, just-
episodes on a podcast, you think
yeah.
I'd be good at the voiceover part? No, it's still
No,
suck.
fair.
Still
But
suck.
it comes like with like just over time, and I feel like even I was like that, like a little bit, but I just kind of like, at the end of the day, your audience wants your authenticity and wants your voice. And I know some people struggle with it in the sense of like, maybe they have to put on like a character and like kind of have that like actor voice. But at the end of the day, your audience doesn't want that Ricky. They want like just the way you talk. So
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. For
Yeah.
you, I was going to say like, and you kind of caught it, like your eye, like your experience.
yeah.
You've done this for so long. You've been doing it for so long. You know those things where it's like you paid someone $50,000 for 2 hours of work. It's like, no, you didn't pay them for 2 hours of work. You paid them for the 10 years that they've been doing this job
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
their experience and their knowledge. And I feel like that's with you, because you're, again, how you capture things. I'm like, this event looks sick. Like, I was there. It was not this sick. Like, I was there. I know it wasn't this fun. That looked fun. I want to go to your event. Like, how did we attend the same event and you made it look like that? And I was miserable. No, like,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But
that's
no,
your
thank
thing,
you,
right
man.
there.
I
You
appreciate that a
also,
lot.
some of our audience, like, just because like they might not know, but like, do you do all your editing? Like, who does your stuff like that?
Yeah, so I guess, again, the team that I have as well. So I have a manager. She helps me out a lot. I sometimes use like a videographer. So I'll use like, I have like 2 friends that are like mad talented with like their video stuff.
I think I DM'd you about that too, actually. After your Ruffles ad. Was it Ruffles?
Oh yeah, it was
The Ruffles
no,
football one.
I don't think it was Ruffles. But
Lay's? Lay's or Ruffles? One of the
It
two.
might have been Lay's. Yeah,
was a
yeah.
chip company.
Yeah,
And I was just like, bro, who filmed this? This was so
answer.
good. Sorry, I cut you off. My bad.
yeah. So one of my boys, Scott, shout out to Scotty. So I use him, and then one of my other boys, Wiz, I use him a lot as well for like my video stuff, just to like make maybe some ads like more kind of like professional. And then one of my good friends, Olivia, I met her in school. She does a lot of my like photos and stuff. And even one of my friends recently that I worked at Apple with, Gurman, he does a lot of my like, maybe because I have to do like photos outside. So like outfit of the day photos, I'll shoot with him. But any kind of like on the scene video stuff, I'll just like edit on my iPhone and stuff. So I think I kind of got into it more before the pandemic. So like I want to say 2019 is when I started editing a lot of those videos like that, and I saw like just like vlog style, but I saw like my audience really received it well and like liked that, so I just made it more like cinematic and engaging and stuff like that.
Okay, I don't know if you can answer this, but do you ever regret signing with the agency when you did?
The
Great
agency
question.
or like a brand?
The agency.
And
Not doing it by yourself. No, because like me and Ricky have had this
Yeah.
conversation a lot about him and him going with an agency. Some people have reached out,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Should I do this?"
Yeah.
And again, it's there's 2 ways to go about it. Like, could he? Yes. Could it like limit with exclusivity with some brands and like other maybe deals that you've had in the past or didn't have yet that you might not be able to get because of the agency? So I was just
Yeah.
wondering, like, do you ever regret it? You're obviously thankful for them. You're at the position you are now,
Yeah.
but do you ever question it?
I definitely don't regret it. I would say that it came at like such a great time, especially because the agency that I got, like I always like sought them. Like out of all the agencies in Toronto, they were the one on my list that I like really wanted to be in.
Platform's the biggest.
Yeah, but even at that time too, before they sought me, I was in my head that like I couldn't reach out to them until I was doing this for like 5 years to have that kind of like resume, but they reached out to me when I was doing it for like 3 years, like out of that 7. So yeah, I think just having them reach out to me and them wanting to work with me, I was like 1000% like yes. I feel like having a manager adds great credibility, especially when they're kind of working for you for budget and stuff like that. Whether that is like as a smaller creator or like a minority creator or anything like that, I think that kind of like helps because they are in the business and they're in the industry. So if they're like, okay, like, well, we're going to do this for X amount of money and the brand is kind of pushing back, the manager can kind of like fight for you. And I appreciate that. But I do see a trend maybe more now where like influencers or creators are kind of doing it on their own and maybe saving that 20% or 15% or whatever the agency is charging. So it defo is possible to do it on your own. But I think it just depends on the person you are. You know what I mean? Like I am fortunate to be very busy and I enjoy having a manager because I get to focus on solely the content. So like, yes, I review contracts, but I'm reviewing this knowing that I had another pair of eyes look at it and like are fighting for me. So when I'm proofreading it or looking at it, I know that like this is what I should be getting.
It's like the last step.
Yeah, the last step. Or like I'm getting something that I'm like, okay, like this isn't like a sketchy brand coming for me. Like this is something that like is worth my time.
You don't have to like vet them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
already been vetted for you. Now it's just like you can finally give like the final yes or no.
Yeah, exactly. But I think as like I grow, maybe that'll be something I like explore. Like I recently just like had a friend be like my assistant and help me with emails because I feel like during like the holidays, emails are so crazy. And I'm a very like my friend were doing this questionnaire thing, and one of the questions was like, what is your biggest fear? My biggest fear is asking for help. Like I don't ask for help at all.
Really?
Yeah, I will struggle and do anything by myself. So I think even asking like hiring like somebody to like help me out like was such a big thing I had to like let go, because I think also like with where I am now with my career and stuff like that, like it's making me become more of like a boss, but I have to let some things go and like delegate when I can. So
I'm trying to outsource as much as I possibly can right now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm nowhere. I don't do nearly as many brand deals as you do.
But it's
like,
simply just
I'm-
to like save myself time and also like mentally.
It was
you
just
know?
again, I don't enjoy editing. I literally hate editing.
Yeah,
I don't remember the last time I edited my own brand deal.
yeah. Okay.
I've been outsourcing everything the last maybe 10 deals I've done.
Good.
And sometimes if I can get the videographer in for the same time, I'll hire a videographer too.
Yeah.
They did my last video, these two.
Okay.
And Vicky kind of low-key screwed it up, but we still love Vicky. Yeah, I paid you in love, and I provide so much of it.
Inflation's going up. Love only gets so much. I get you, Vicky. I get
Dinner.
you.
Now it's gonna be 2 dinners. Actually, I bought you dinner last time too. Vicky helped me with a McDonald's one long time, or no, DoorDash. Remember that?
Okay.
We're already at an hour, but before we wrap up,
geez, okay.
I
know,
do
really like went
went
quick.
really fast.
Yeah.
I want to ask, what's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
One piece of advice I would give to my younger self, age specific, would probably be age 17 or maybe even
Holy shit.
18. I'd say like just wait a little and like give yourself time. I feel like when I was that age, not that I thought I had everything figured out, but I just thought where I am now wouldn't have been possible. So now looking back, I'm just very proud of like the things that I've been able to accomplish for myself and like get pushing past like some like mental health stuff or even just other like situations and not really knowing where I wanted to be in life, but also knowing that like I wanted to be here, if that makes sense. So maybe just saying that like, yeah, like just give yourself time. Like it'll certainly be okay, but just like don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Great answer. When you said age
I
specific,
love how age specific that was.
yeah, I was
too,
just
because,
like, nobody's ever said that.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Oh, wow.
many times we've asked that, no one's ever been age specific.
Yeah, because I think
That's
when you
solid.
say like what would you say to your younger self, like I don't know, there's like so many things you could say at like such a different stage of age. So yeah, 17 really resonated with me because that was such a eye-opening year, I guess. But I would also say like that's a predominant year that I like remember so much. So yeah, to that guy, I would say that.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Dan, you got anything else?
No, I think
We
that,
should
like,
definitely
I'm really like reflecting right
yeah,
now.
we
too,
should
because I'm
do.
like,
We'll do a part 2 in a couple months. Well, maybe
we need
we'll wait
like
for
an
Okay,
update
fair.
on
do
both
in-
of you, like
yeah,
where you
we'll
guys
do it in
are.
like
and,
late
your
spring, early summer, because
Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
like creator stuff gets crazy,
For
especially
sure,
with
for
events.
sure.
Maybe we'll do it like near Osh or something.
Okay, yeah.
Because
but
we're both going to be going to Osh.
to
this
both
year.
of you, sure. Like thank you as well for having
Oh,
me
you were
on
great.
the pod as well.
Oh my
I'm
God, this
happy
was
that
so
I was
much fun.
able
Yeah, you were great.
to be here.
Do you know what? But again, you're comfortable. You're good with the camera, and like I don't want to say this is always when you know it's going to be a good episode, but I always know I get good feelings when the guest asks someone a question, because for us it's not meant to be an interview. It's more meant to be a conversation.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
We've always pitched this podcast as a conversation amongst pals. The idea is that we become friends. You become friends. We'll all
Yeah.
become friends, and we become friends with the audience, and the audience gets to become friends with you. And we get some episodes where, and we always kind of say that, and we get some episodes where it's very interviewy, and sometimes it happens. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But when the dialogue gets going back and forth, where it's less like question answer, more like kind of going around the group.
Yeah.
I love those ones, and that's why you always know it's going to be a good one. And you did it early on. I was like, when you asked, like, I think you asked Danny what her favorite concert was. I was like, ooh, I like that. We're going there. But yeah, Matt, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on. We
thanks again for
appreciate
having
you.
me. Yeah,
If people want to find out more about you, follow you, where can they go? How can they find you?
All my handles online are Matt R. Edwards. That's 2 T's in Matt, and then R, the letter R, Edwards, my last name. And yeah, if you're ever looking for men's fashion content or just mental health stuff or just lifestyle stuff, you can find it there.
Boom. Danny, anything else?
That's it.
No, we appreciate you guys. If you made it to the end, thank you. Give Matt a follow, give Danny a follow, give myself a follow, and we will see you guys next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Woo!
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain. And I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high.